Does every kid do when they see a tube? They swing it like a sword. And what does every adult do when they see a tube? They swing it like a sword. So what if a Pokemon saw a tube? Do you think they'd do something different? If only there was some sort of tube-swinging Pokemon simulator out there with hundreds, if not thousands of Pokemon just like swinging their stuff everywhere. Oh wait, there it is. This is Pokemon Infinite Fusion, the fan game with over 175,000 different Pokemon combinations. And we're here today to see if we can beat a randomized hardcore Nuzlocke using only Aegislash Fusions. That means if a Pokemon faints, it's considered dead. Level caps are based on the next leader's days. No active items can be used in battle, and we're going to be playing on set mode. Make sure you like and subscribe, and maybe you'll become a powerful warrior, wandering the wastes of a decaying civilization, facing off against hordes of monsters, capturing their spirits as you slay them for power. Your quest? To restore peace to the land and return it to mankind. Or maybe you're just like swinging some wrapping paper tubes around going, wee! Starting things off in Professor Oak's lab, our starter choices are a dozen eggs, a beetle, and this vor enthusiast. Choosing Pinsir, we go ahead and fuse it and get this amazing gladiator. So many Aegislash Fusions are so cool. This Eldritch Spear consuming its wielder, trading more power for their eternal soul. Anywho, Rando challenges us to a battle before we can leave the lab, and he sends out those eggs, and they really want to try some of our ice cream. After getting pumped up, we go ahead, trading back and forth until we're able to smash them all, and then we move on to make some new friends. But Rando swears revenge, saying he'll meet us over on Route 22. Gearing up for our battle against Rando, we add a few more weapons to our collection. First, this Butterfree sword is some kind of like Fey enchanted blade. Okay, Teddy Ursa looks like he should be the protagonist of a roguelike. Hitmonchan, I can't tell if that's an eye patch or anime hair. Either way, I love this sprite. And oh my god, Diglett found this sword in the stone. And Roselia is just like Ivy's whip sword, but it's cool. We find Rando swinging a stick at some kids that are just trying to play tag. He said this for his training, and let's see if he's gotten any better since last time we fought. He starts off with Aegislash, which is a pretty nifty sprite. And after we get hit, we swap in a Sting, doing some okay damage with a Gust. After getting knocked below half, I swap it into Teddy, and we just lick his spoons until he runs off. Now these eggs are back, and they love licks, so we swap into Arthur and give him a scratch. Getting Glaive back in there, we go back and forth for a while, but after tossing up his eggs into the air, they break and we win. Skipping ahead to Brock, we hear of a master who can help us forge steel, capable of slicing through stone. He offers to help work on our weapons if we can best him in a Pokemon battle. So let's kick things off. Bots doesn't even know which way plants are supposed to go in flower pots, but that's okay because he's still so proud of himself. After powering up, one jab takes him down. Okay, Arrow King is a really cool monster fusion, but one slash takes him down as well, and with that, we move towards Cerulean. Outside of Mount Moon, Nurse Joy is tending to this wounded Geodude until Brock comes in to show her that his heart is not made of stone. He's ready for love. Then we leave them to go make kissy faces at each other, and we end up helping this poor defenseless Rock ourselves. We find two Rocket Cruns talking about some kind of plan to create the perfect weapon, and we definitely want to get on some of that action, so we follow them inside. Deeper into Mount Moon, we find that Team Rocket is attempting a triple fusion. Think of how many arms it would have. So many swords. Unfortunately, their plans fail, and they gather up all their materials and head back to their super secret base. Maybe we'll see it someday. Before we take on Rando again, we go ahead and add some more members to our party. We find this noble mouse with a magical blade of crackling energy. Next, we find this blaster, and while they seem so uncivilized, you never know when you're gonna need one. Rando's over on Nugget Bridge, practicing that move where you move really fast and slice through your opponent. He trips and falls on his face, but his persistence is admirable. Once he notices we're here, he sends out Rosterra, and we send out our blaster. Swapping into Thorn, he just sets up with Curse. We immediately get poisoned and realize I can't really hit this thing, so we switch into Paladin. Swords Dance boosts us up as Razor Leaf gets us down to about half. After maxing out, a Night Slash does nothing, basically. So we just start punching it and manage to take him down, but we're literally on 1 HP. Blaster comes back in against Sandtuff, and one shot is all we need. Looking towards grown up since last we met, we fire off a few rounds, but swap into Teddy and start Swords Dancing. Two slashes manage to take down the tree, and Venera. This guy's getting some serious firepower going into this match. Blaster comes in for some reason, and I should probably swap, but I don't, and continue doing basically nothing. This time I use my brain, sending in Rocket, paralyzing it. Thundershock barely tickles this thing, but I don't really have any good options, and it can't really do anything to me either. But I just keep spamming until eventually we take it down, and we can move on to our next objective. Bill is researching ways to turn himself into a living weapon, which is kind of a cool idea, but the results are not quite what he was expecting. So after asking us to help him defuse the situation, He gives us some cruise tickets as a thank you. Misty has learned the best way to temper your weapons while forging. She says she'll help us sharpen our arms, but first we must best her in battle. Choosing to start off with Rocket, she sends in Tinacarp. I love how many fusions Magikarp gets, but it's a little excessive. After setting up a Thunder Wave, we trade shocks and rock slides until we come out on top. Oh my, Rose Tick just got her hair did. Obviously our electric attacks are doing a heck of a lot less against his Bolt, so we go for a paralysis strategy instead. Swapping into Thorn, we try to set up a Leech Seed, but after missing, I just decide to drain it instead. It takes a little bit of time, but the drains keep us above half with our berry until she finally heals back up. Lucky for us, the Sandstorm is working against her as well, and after a long drawn-out battle, we manage to come out on top. Before heading to our cruise ship, we fuse up with Metagross for this living armory. Mamoswine reminds me of one of those war elephants from Lord of the Rings, and I've always loved those. On the SSN, Rando's walking around wearing a fake mustache, a cape, wielding a rapier, and a fake French accent. He walks up to us, bowing, kissing our hand. After revealing himself, our next battle begins. Gluagon is so sleepy, and we get tired too. After waking up for our nap, we chop it and take it down in one. Donjam has an idea. We swap into our gun because gun beats muscle, and a water pulse takes it down. Ligator comes in for vengeance. We do some damage with Flash Cannon, but we need to switch into Arsenal. A Night Slash does big damage, but after he heals up, 2 more takes him down. Lichu is a cutie, but a Night Slash finishes things off and we head over to Surge. Surge has developed an electrical process for upgrading armaments. This burly artificer is just what we need for our battle against tyranny. Electricon literally looks like some cool Warforged thing. After setting up a Sword Stance, we smash it down with just 1 hit, but take a lot of damage, way more than I'd like. Rivoire and Beereep both go down in 1, and we unlock some upgrades. Hydreigon fuses, and we make this awesome Dragon Knight. Rando's in Pokemon Tower. He heard a voice that led him here from outside with the promise of power. He seems to be under some kind of spell and attacks us right away without any kind of funny or goofy entrance. Chanwhirl is perfect. Tiamat does barely any damage before getting paralyzed, and we switch into Paladin, where the same thing happens. Setting up a Swords Dance, we break through and Mach Punch it, taking the frog down. This mess of vines only takes 2 hits, and after healing up a few times, this Tungy Tree goes down after a few hits as well. Togepass is awesome. It's like something out of a Studio Ghibli movie, but a few bullet punches take it down, and Rando snaps out of it. While we talk to Rando about what brought him inside, we overhear Team Rocket harassing this older guy before they force him upstairs. Heading into Celadon, we find Erica, the local leader. Her training practices help steady the hand to move with precision. She asks for our help in dealing with Team Rocket, who's set up under the city, so we follow her into the sewers. After getting through their secret base, we find Giovanni, who's already beaten Erica in a battle, so it looks like it's up to us to stop him. Dota's up first, and personally, I prefer League, but both are pretty bad for your mental, dude. After setting up 2 Sword Stances, 2 Mach Punch take this thing down. This shady penguin goes down in 1, and Abnix only takes a few hits to go down as well. And with that, Team Rocket agrees to leave Celadon, but I don't think it'll be the last time we see them. This gym is great, it's full of sexy women. A true warrior has no time for such frivolities. I need Erica to show me some hand stuff. She starts off with this double fused Whimsicott, and after a Sword Dance, we take it out with a Fire Punch. Rhysaur is awesome, and a drill run puts us in a bad spot. So we swap into Glaive and manage to take it and this double shroom down with an X-Scissor. At the top of Pokemon Tower, it turns out Mr. Fuji was the creator of the Master Ball. He warned us that Silphco is Team Rocket's next stop, so we need to find a way to get to Saffron. Visiting Fuchsia City, we hear about Koga. He is a ninja master. He's able to dip his weapons in different chemicals to produce sleep or poison. While it isn't noble, we have to do everything we can to fight against these monsters. Agreeing to teach us after a battle, we begin. He starts off with Lucana, and a lot of these gym battles have been kind of a joke so far. I'm gonna just let you guys, watch this. His first 3 Pokemon should be like things youngster Joey has, and this Nidoran Poliwag keeps trying to kill itself, so it doesn't even need to get dug. Lucac is at least a worthy opponent. Sometimes the randomizer just kind of poops itself. And with that, we defeat Koga and move on to Saffron. After clearing out Silphco, Rando shows up, begging to be our sidekick. He's dispatched a few rockets himself, and he wants to prove us that he's worthy of fighting by our side. The battle begins, and Slugro is out first. Swapping into Blaster, we take it down after a couple of hits, and Clefdoom is surprisingly tanky. After taking huge damage, we swap into Arsenal, going for a Sword Stance since it can't really hit us, and a Night Slash finishes it off. Blissey doesn't quite look right, I don't know why, but it goes down in 1 hit. Okay, Volcagon, check this guy out. An Earthquake does great damage, but he gets us really low, and the burn also, so we need to swap. Tiamat comes in just to get sent away, and Glaive finishes off the beast with a slash. Ligator comes in, and after 2 hits, this thing's done. Agreeing to let Rando help us, we bust into the president's office where Giovanni's demanding more from the Sylph president. After issuing our challenges, the next battle begins. Sluggar and Maralogen are both weak to guns, so we swap into Blaster, going for a Surf, taking them both down. Swidon and Magnet come in, and again, big damage can come from water, so we get them both super low. Giovanni heals up Swidon as we take out the twins. Now, only with Swidon remaining, a few flash cannons take care of things, and Giovanni and Team Rocket leave Saffron. Now we need to visit Sabrina. Her psionic abilities could prove useful in battle. If she can teach us that, we can stop playing Wandering Knight and start playing Jedi instead. Dark 2? Okay, seriously, cool. But luckily for us, Darkrai and Mewtwo have butt moves. And we managed to OHKO every single one of these Pokemon. But shout out to these sprites, they're all really cool. Prepping for Blaine, we need to cover our fire weakness, so we grab this spiky scimitar. Blaine's forge is so hot that he's able to fold his blade like so many times. This analogy's starting to lose legs, so let's just battle. Chartigator is awesome. It's my Gen 1 and Gen 2 starters, just as one. It's awesome. After powering up, we're able to take it down. Hydroom is a really cool looking Pokemon with a really cool name. What isn't cool is foul play after I use Swords Dance, so my scimitar broke and I sent in an elephant instead. Earthquake manages to take it down in 1, and Blizztails has fabulous hair. Lucky for us, it isn't low enough for a potion, so 2 hits, take it down. Siltails comes out last, and this guy really likes foxes. And with that, Blaine shows us how to make our flames even hotter. We hear Team Rocket is headed to Mount Ember, so we strap some storage to these power tools, and we're ready to take care of business. Giovanni has captured all 3 legendary birds. He's fused them into Zapmalkuno, a Pokemon so overpowered that he's allowed to make up his own rules like a 5-year-old would. It has 3 health bars, they can all hit you. Oh, and your super effective moves, they don't get to hit right on the first turn because I ate the scrape. Actually I also have full heals. Anyways, Age of Fire comes in, and after a few discharges, we're left with only Zapdos remaining. Alright, cool. Swapping into Mammoth Sword, we go ahead and do okay damage with an Ice Fang. After powering up, it only takes 1 final bite to take it down, the birds defuse, and Giovanni runs home crying to his mother because we beat up his overpowered bird. Giovanni's back at his house, and he refuses to finish the game. He wanted to be Pokemon Master, but I told him no, it was my turn to Pokemon Master, and he was the bad guy. He says, fine, but now it's time for us to have our last fight so I can go to the Pokemon League. Lucafan is pretty fierce, but a Surf washes this mammoth away. Flychomp, also cool, definitely creepy, and an Ice Beam takes it out after a Surf doesn't. Blaster gets taken down super low by Donper, so we swap into Tiamat to avoid the ground damage, and after some back and forth, we manage to take it down as well. Klefking could be an issue, but lucky for us it's a double fused Moonstone evolution, so it doesn't really have any moves. So Glaive is able to set up for free, and after 2 Swords Dances, it's done. Okay, Fly Knight, I'm into it. But after a failed Hyper Beam, 2 hits secure our final win that we need in order to advance to the Pokemon League. Rando is over on Route 22. He's excited to continue our journey together, but I tell him that the life of a Jedi is a solitary one. He says we aren't playing Jedi, we're playing Knight, and then I say no because Sabrina taught us how to use Force powers, so he decides that we aren't Knight friends, and now he's a Sith. Mlith is excellent, just 100% on this one. 2 Sirs managed to take it down, and Jolkip is also great. Less is more sometimes. Mammoth does okay damage with an EQ, as an Endeavor takes us super low. Garakin comes in next, and we get Blaster in there. We shield up for the incoming dig, and I launch 2 Ice Beams, taking this guy down. Ligator gets us down into the red, so I swap in a Glaive, and 2 more hits from X-Scissor take it down. Arcalar I love because it's like a Voltron Viking thing. Either way, it's awesome. Paladin comes in with a Thunder Punch, and after 2, he's down to his last Pokemon. Lickety sounds inappropriate, so we punch it a few times before any children see. And with that, it's time for us to head to the Pokemon League. Making a few more modifications to our party, Togeslash is the happiest little Warlock pack you've ever seen. And Aegislash is literally my friend Mike's D&D Dragonborn character. Now that we've made it this far, let's take a look at our final team before we head in to face the Elite Four. First, we have Scramble with Air Slash, Aura Sphere, Moonblast, and Thunder Wave. Bahamut with Dragon Claw, Night Slash, Earthquake, and Dragon Dance. Paladin with Mach Punch, Bullet Punch, Thunder Punch, and Swords Dance. Arsenal with Zen Headbutt, Meteor Mash, Night Slash, and Swords Dance. Mammoth Zord with Iron Head, Earthquake, Ice Fang, and Swords Dance. And then finally our starter Glaive with Swords Dance, X Scissor, Sacred Sword, and Night Slash. Our first match is against Lorelei and her Ice Pokemon. She sends out Chorister, and I start off with Paladin. She gets me down to about half if I Swords Dance up. After a decent hit from Thunder Punch, she heals. I try to go for a Mach Punch, but figure out this thing is flying, so we change it up to a Bullet Punch, and we take it down despite her using her second heal. Swinine is out next, and he's just kind of silly, and a Blizzard puts us down to about half, but 2 take him down. Gentum goes down in 1 Bullet Punch, and Proboster takes 2. Ardenite? This guy is cool as heck. Scramble comes in to finish up, but after it avoids being paralyzed, a few Moonblasts take care of the Ice Dragon, and we proceed to Bruno. So in Randomizer, Bruno usually gets the short end of the stick, so let's see. Okay, he's got a Meat Chop. Whimsily has got a hell of a hairdo, but he isn't that into Moonblasts. Ugh, Pokemon Fusions. Risking the innards out, we managed to take it down, and oh my god, 25% left. Nice. Magnachan is a bit of a threat, so we swap into Mammoth. We trade a few hits back and forth as he heals up. When regular hits aren't really getting us anywhere, I use Swords Dance and an Earthquake, and I finish him and his last 2 Pokemon off quick enough. Agatha and her Spoopy Ghost are up next, and she sends in her own weapon-themed Pokemon with Psy-Edge. I love that. Glaive comes out, and after setting up a Swords Dance, we're able to take every single one of Agatha's Pokemon down in 1 hit. Let's go. Finally, Lance, the Dragon Master, is our final opponent. We have a full team of 6 as we enter the final 2 battles of the game. Let's begin. Landorus is something out of Tomorrowland, and a Moonblast leaves it in the deep red. But after healing it back up and down, it goes down in a second one. Looks like Lanitar's blasting off again! Radixus is jacked as hell, and this thing looks like it's an EVA! After healing up again, the second one gets the 1-hit KO. His final 2 Pokemon are a bit lackluster than the initial 3, but holy hell. Thank goodness for this Egg Shield. Rando's now taking the game a bit too seriously. He's at the back of the champion chamber, pacing back and forth, dozens of Bidoof playing dead on the floor. Do you see what you've created, Master? I did this. All of this. Because you wanted to play Jedis when I said we were playing Knights. Rando's dead. That name means nothing to me. Only Darth Grimy is left. The championship battle begins as Blastcue is his first Pokemon. As a Play Rough does basically nothing, we set up 2 Swords Dances. A Night Slash does nothing, so I figured out this thing is Fairy, not Ghost. So between healing up, 3 X Scissors take it down. Dark Wudo is really cool, but we have Sacred Sword. See ya. Tentafan gets us below half of the Hydro Pump, but we just keep slashing through a few heals until it goes down. Ligator only takes 1, and Goldfish is a good name, and we get hit kinda low and fail to take it down. Swapping into Bahamut, it uses Destiny Bond? So, okay, well, good thing we were setting up. We keep on spamming Dragon Dance as he keeps on trying to take him down with him, and after he runs out of PP, we take it out with the Dragon Claw. Zew is his final Pokemon, but a Night Slash finishes things off, and with that, we become Pokemon League champions. And that's how I beat a Pokemon Infinite Fusion Hardcore Randomized Nuzlocke using only Aegislash Fusions. If you made it this far in the video, please subscribe and make sure you share the video where you can. I really appreciate the support these runs have gotten so far, and let me know what types of runs you'd like to see in the future. But anyways, I'll catch you next week. See ya.